Let's travel now to Las Vegas, where away from the bright lights of the 24-hour casinos, a gem of a motor museum has cars from the famous and the infamous.
Everywhere you look, there's a legend. From the incredible Isotta Franchini to Elvis Presley's gas guzzler. In between, there's Marilyn Monroe's car in mink, and even Howard Hughes' car is out in the open. Behind the candelabra, Liberace. And there's plenty of presidential cars to choose from. We leave it to you to decide whether you prefer the car to its previous owner. There are hundreds of glittering American classic cars, and there's one very special car I've come to see. First, I checked in with the collection's director, ex-auctioneer Hagan Stewart.
The collection was started by the Imperial Palace Hotel and Casino in 1981. We decided to give the opportunity to the public to see some of the antique and classic cars that have been offered throughout the world.
So how many people come through here each year?
We have approximately 2 to 2.5 million per year.
That's quite a number, and you're open very long hours too.
We're open 7 days a week from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m.
Okay, so what would you say was maybe the most valuable car here?
Probably be hard to say. I've got a Mercedes 500K that's a very rare and unusual car. I've got a couple of Duesenbergs that are probably in excess of $3 million. So it's hard to say the most valuable.
And which are your most favorite?
I'm very favorite is the Duesenberg cars. No one in particular, just the Duesenberg in general.
Why is that?
They were just so far ahead of their time for in the 30s. The engineering of the engine, the transmission, the self-lube oil, just quite a well-built car.
And it's one particular Duesenberg I've come to see, this magnificent 1931 Model J Murphy-bodied Beverly sedan. It appeared at America's exclusive Pebble Beach Concourse event. This car was restored by residents of Indian Springs.
We have 2 restoration shops, one here in Las Vegas itself and then one out at Indian Springs Prison. All the cars are basically completely restored, stripped down, painted, engine mechanical and everything, so that once they come back here, they all are in running condition.
And how did you build up the connection with the prison?
It started about 2 years ago. Mr. Richie Klein, the administrator of the collection, got together with the wardens of the prisons and decided it would be a rehabilitation program and a training program for the prisoners and also be benefit to us.
With that one invitation, the prison restoration team have acquired real status.
A gentleman out at the prison did a complete restoration, interior, exterior, and did a beautiful job. We took it to Pebble Beach this year, also took it to the Auburn Cord show in Auburn, Indiana this year, which it won a prize there. Did a very nice job on it.
How did it do in the concourse competition?
Pebbles Beach, it's such competition up there. We did not place, but it was just a pride that we've got the car in there and it was restored by the prisoners, which was a real special for Richie and I to have that car up there.
Frustrating for them that they couldn't go along, I guess.
Yes, very much so.
A head count in what must be the world's most exclusive car restoration shop. This is the prison at Indian Springs, Nevada, where just 40 of the 1,400 inmates restore million-dollar automobiles for the Imperial Palace Collection in nearby Las Vegas. Murderers and bank robbers vie for a job in here. It's hard work, but not traditional hard labor.
All right, back to work. Rato.
Oh, yes, boss!
People don't really understand how the program works. They think, well, Imperial Palace has just hired inmates to do work at cheap labor. Well, that's not actually the way it works. The way it works is we hire these guys for minimum wage, and all these guys that are working in this shop in here are all saving taxpayers' money on the private industry or private sector side. They pay room and board, they pay meals, they pay for their clothes to be washed. So I think roughly on what they make in a 2-week period, they might bank about $70 of that, and the rest goes out to pay for things. So it's saving taxpayers a lot of money too by this whole. Everybody benefits.
But Dave didn't foresee those benefits when the Imperial Palace asked him to set up the project.
At first, I thought my boss, Richie Klein, was completely bonkers. I'd been around some prisons in high school, or we went through for tours or whatever, and those are some pretty hardcore prisons. Of course, I had visions of seeing guys standing here, you know, holding the knife to you, and it's not that way at all. I would rather work with guys in here than guys in the street. They seem like they apply themselves more. People ask me, you know, well, what's it like working with these criminals? Well, the only difference between myself, basically, I shouldn't probably say this, but the guys in here, these guys got caught. Some guys, I say that lightly because some guys are in here for real bad crimes. Other guys, you know, they just got caught up in something. They got around the wrong people, were brought up wrong, had no family, and they just need a chance in life. And that's what this program helps to offer, is a chance for them to do something and show people they can do something.
With the experience gained here, there's the chance of a well-paid job outside when parole comes around. Inside, only a hand-picked few get the chance to show what they can do.
So how did you get to be on that original team?
We had an interview. We had to have an interview. You know, we applied for the job, and then Dave had an office set up over at the Far Bay, and he would talk to us and see what we knew and how interested we was in the job, you know. And so by doing that, he took it upon himself to say, well, he sounds interested and he doesn't, you know, and he hired us from that, you know, from the way he interviewed us and what little qualities we had.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of us, you know, who's appreciate that we did get the job.
Yeah.
You know, we've learned a lot from him, you know, as far as restoration and just different things in a whole, you know, and it's made my life a lot more easier.
Dude, one thing I want to add too is, you know, I was really impressed with the management here. You know, Dave, man, he's you know, he's a little bit, I'd say, far advanced than most any other guys that restore these cars. He's really good. And
he knows what he's doing.
And I figured that I've been taught by the best now.
And the best is only just good enough at Indian Springs. Every car that comes in is carefully taken apart and painstakingly reconstructed. Whatever its needs, the skills are here.
We started out with some real tough cars. They kind of put us through the ringer, myself and the guys in here. But we've graduated now, that's why we're doing a lot of Bentleys, Duesenberg, stuff like that, because the caliber work we've turned out has been pretty good. We've competed in national competition. We had a Duesenberg Beverly that went to Pebble Beach in Auburn, Indiana this last summer, and that's a real big mark.
So even to be allowed to participate is the big thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Pebble Beach is an invitation type thing. Well, that's not where you can't, it's not like you finish a car and you just go enter it. You have to be asked, you're invited. So it's kind of like, that's the Ralph Lauren and different ones like that all have cars in it. So, you know, for the guys out here, it was a big time thing, which it was for me too. It's the first time I actually had a car myself that went to Pebble Beach, you know, like that.
Okay, they didn't win, but there's lots of time to work on future entries. This is one workshop where a steady turnover of staff is welcomed.
And what's your plans for the future? When are you going to get out of here?
I got probably maybe about 15, maybe 16 more months to go before I get out here. And hopefully that when I leave here, I hope I got a job downtown at Imperial Palace down there.
All right, good.
You know, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, things don't always work out the way you want them to, but I'm trying.
Yeah. And that's all anyone can ask. But it was time to say goodbye to the guys at Indian Springs because, to round off my trip to the Imperial Palace, Dave had promised me a drive in a 1931 J-Class straight-8 Duesenberg. The makers guaranteed it would do over 100 in second gear. Nowadays, it's limited to a sedate turn around the parking lot. After all, there isn't much more you'd dare to do with $1 million museum piece.